Dead Michonne is the latest installment in Telltale's very successful Walking Dead series. So we were very excited to jump into the first episode and experience the hair-pulling stress of every single dialogue choice once more.
It was almost us.
We didn't take anything from you.
The two of us are gonna have ourselves a talk.
Why did love put a gun in my hand? Why did love put a gun in my hand? Why did love put a...
If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you'll no doubt be familiar with the badass sword-wielding Michonne. She's appeared in both the TV show and comics, and is perhaps one of the most iconic characters, wandering the apocalypse with two walkers in tow.
It's the first time in a Telltale game that you play as an already established character, and I've got to say that made it kind of weird for me.
Really? Why's that?
Well, I mean, I felt kind of conflicted about what I would do in a certain situation versus what Michonne would do. I mean, we're very different people.
You know what they say about good intentions.
I wanted to stay true to her character, but Michonne is such a mysterious, guarded person that it's hard to predict her reaction, and half the time I just end up choosing silence. I think this is probably the most I've just not responded in a Telltale game.
Yeah, I can see that. She's pretty moody.
Kid, just...
Tell me, now! Drop your weapons!
I did occasionally feel that the dialogue choices didn't lead to where I thought they would too.
Looks are bad.
It always bugs me when the written option doesn't line up with what you actually say.
We'll figure something out.
Glad you're feeling so optimistic.
And these games are squarely about your choices and the story they weave. So what did you think of that story, Bajo?
Well, firstly, I do trust Telltale's storytelling style.
I feel like it's a butt coming.
Yeah, but this felt really thin.
I knew it.
I just didn't feel connected to any of the other characters because you never really get to know them. The story moves away from the first group fairly quickly, and there's no reason to trust or invest in the second group. And this episode is really short at just over an hour, and maybe that isn't enough time to develop any real connections or emotions.
No, I agree. I mean, characters just don't feel as complex or genuine as in previous games. They're starting to fall into those apocalyptic archetypes. You know, you've got the sadistic enforcer,
Wonder you're all stoic and shit.
the morally challenged accomplice,
Stop! Don't move!
the hopeful nice guy who'll probably end up dying.
You holding up okay?
It's just a bit uninspired. Although I will say that the superb voice acting did help sell me on it, enough that I'll reserve judgment until future episodes.
My biggest problem with this is that I'm not invested in these characters, right? So when it comes to those moments of, oh, who do I trust, who don't I trust, I just don't care. You know, I want to be torn apart by betrayal.
Oh, me too, Bajo, me too. However, another sort of tension is created through the visions that Michonne is haunted by, the image of her two daughters.
Too spooky for me, Hex. It got me a few times. Right from the start of the game, there's this disturbing presence gnawing away at Michonne's psyche.
Some days I envy the dead.
I do like that, and I am interested to see where that goes from here.
Besides story building and conversation choices, you'll be completing quick time events to fight zombies and walking around inspecting areas. Telltale continues to move away from puzzles and extensive exploration sections, which I do think is a good thing. Although I like how suspicious I am when I'm walking around. Ooh, severed arm. Better inspect that.
Yeah, you really don't want to miss anything important. Although after a while, I just stopped being so thorough because it felt like the game is going to take me where it wants to take me anyway.
We should see what else we can find.
But most importantly, this didn't feel like my story, so I just did not care when people died.
Spoilers, Bajo.
It's called The Walking Dead, not The Walking Alive. People are gonna die.
Yeah, fair call. Well, so far I'm not super impressed with this, but my faith in the franchise is strong enough that I will probably play the rest when it comes out. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars.
It's missing the magic a bit for me. I'm giving it 2.5 out of 5.
You don't need to use that.
Get a towel, Zachary.